Alright guys, we're here with this tiny little Indian dirt bike, and it is super small. I just threw it up on the workbench there. It's I mean, super early from the 70s, and we're gonna try and see if we can fix a few things on it and get it back in order. I noticed there's something that was mounted here that's broken, and then we've got this spot here on the seat that's got some old welds there. Looks like it was broken and they kind of booger welded it back together. It is connected right there, but you can see it's crooked, so that's all gonna have to be fixed. See how crooked that seat is? Yeah, which makes the whole rear end crooked. And then looks like part of the casting on this motor here kind of sheared off or broke off, so it's got some damaged spots. That's probably a little too spread out wide there. It's got a few things that need addressed for sure, but we'll see what we can do with it. Alright, so we got a seat, it's got a little tank, it's got some handlebars, it's got a old janky throttle cable that's probably not going to get used. We do got some good wheels here, just need some good tires for them, which, yeah, these are obviously not going to work. We do got a set of forks to finish off our forks there, so we got that. We got some kind of weird little, oh, that's our breather. That's where our air filter goes for our carburetor, which is right here. So that would go, you know, that would come over our carburetor, put our air filter in there. That's how that works. It's an old fuel line, definitely not going to use that. Looks like a muffler cover for our exhaust. And then a little cover here for that, and that's just some random little parts in there that may or may not end up getting used. I know this one won't need that, but that's what she came with. Let's see if this, oh yeah, there we go, Indian. How about that? So we just pull these two springs out of the bottoms of these forks. They just have these screw holes in the bottom, and there's a bolt in here, and you just twist the spring and it came right out. So put them in there. They are really gummed up and nasty with old grease and just dirt and nastiness. So I'll put some degreaser on those, let them soak for a little while, and clean the springs up. And we can re-grease it all. I guess it's just grease in there, holds it back together. Doesn't look like it would have any oil, but we'll look all that up and see. checking out this tire. Hold that valve stem and it's dirty. Tube's not gonna work. Leaky. Needs a new one. There's the second one. I think that one wants air. Alright, well, got the drain plug out of there. Well, now it wants to have some oil come out. Okay. Not very much, definitely not what's supposed to be in there, but it's got just the tiniest little bit of super duper black oil in it. So we'll just leave that sitting on this rag, see if it drains anything else out of there. Let's see. If you look, the let's see. The drain plug, or the fill plug that is right here, is plastic and it's broken. It's supposed to have, you see it's supposed to be a flathead across there, but it's completely broken off. We'll see if we can get that off of there or not. Oh yeah. Hard to get a grip on that sucker. There we go. Little plug. Very, very broken. So now that we got this out, we can get the thread pattern and everything and just find something to match it. Maybe even get another piece made like this size. Not sure if I can buy one specifically made for this motor or not, but we'll see what we find. That's not that bad. Just got spray paint on it from where they spray painted this bike. Alright, got a little bit of, this is just mineral spirits that I used to clean some grease out of the tubes here for the forks. So nothing too harsh. A plastic brush. Yeah, I think that's going to work pretty good. Clean it up. All right, done cleaning on the motor for now. It's pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's a lot cleaner than it was. I'm gonna move on and try to clean up these lower fork parts a little bit. In there. Should get a little cleaner. Alright, I moved the frame over to my metal working station so that I can start cutting out the sections that are messed up on the seat so I can fix that. But I'm going to move on to the gas tank for now, see what I can do with it. It's got a spot right there where it's been, I don't know if it's got a hole through it where they've put something in it or if that's just Bondo. Looks like I just chipped it off, so it looks like it's not a hole. Looks like it was just Bondo on there. Inside of the tank looks like it was creamed, maybe with cream. Yeah, see how it's got the white? That's usually cream, which I don't like that stuff, but it's on there now. It's got some of it dripped over. And then there's another spot right here. Looks like somebody might have tried to Bondo it up or something. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's a hole all the way through. It's just a dent, and they were trying to fix the dents in it or something. So it's got this dent, that dent, and then there's one more on this side right here. So all that's going to have to be fixed and Bondoed. The whole thing's going to have to be sanded back down because this is like got surface rust all over it. There's another little divot right there. So everything's going to have to be sanded on it so we can get it down to a point where we can actually paint it. So we'll work on Bondoing it, or sanding it and then Bondoing it. Well, we got this sucker sanded down fairly well. Went ahead and threw a little Bondo on there. Just mixed some up and schmecked it on there. I missed a spot over here, but I gotta sand this down and go back over a few spots with some more anyway. So, because I can already tell this one's gonna be too low. You know, you rarely get it filled perfectly the first time. You gotta usually, and this one too, usually you gotta sand it back down and put another coat on. But I put that on last night, so it's probably ready to, it's dry enough to go ahead and sand down and then put a little more on. Let's get to that. All right, gonna put another little bit of Bondo on here. If you don't know anything about Bondo or have never worked with it before, you should know it dries super fast. I mean, the working time for Bondo is probably the shortest of any stuff, like any kind of epoxy type stuff you could ever use. That's a two-part, you know. It's real short, so you gotta act quick. You gotta work quick with this stuff and just get it on there as quick as you can. So we're gonna go ahead and mix some up here a little bit. We got a little bit on there. We just need a little bit of hardener. So once you get it mixed up and it's all pink, everything's pink, it's ready to use. And once it's ready to use, you got to get to it. Don't wait around, no time at all. All right, that should be good enough for what we're doing. All right, let's see here. Okay. Already almost out of time. Almost. Not quite yet. But you can immediately tell when it starts to. Alright. That's on there. That is on there. That should be good. See any other spots that I needed to address, really. But these. Everything else looks okay. Let's go with that for now. You know, it's still workable right now, but it won't take much longer and it won't be. So let's go ahead and clean it off of our tools. All right. All right, that's on there. We're just gonna let that dry, give it some time, and we'll sand it back down real smooth with some pretty heavy grit, and then we'll go down to we'll just smooth it off real fast with some, like, I've got 60 here, but I'll probably go up to 100, use 100 to smooth it off. And then you use something really a little bit higher, like maybe 320 or 400, and use that to kind of feather it. And you feather the edges out to make everything look real good, so you don't notice a spot where it's humped up over going to the spot. All right, that's gonna be okay. We're gonna let this dry and then we'll come back and sand it down. Still working on this tank, but I did go ahead and take the seat completely apart. There's the bottom half of it, and there's the foam that was in it. So this seat isn't factory to this motorcycle, but it did fit it pretty well and it didn't look too terrible. So I'm just took the cover completely off and using it as a pattern. So I'm gonna remake that seat cover and also cut out a new board, which I've already got marked on a piece of plywood. And then we can just stick it all back together with this old foam. This foam ain't too terrible. A little dirty, but nobody will know once it's covered. And that seat should work fine for it and it won't look too terrible. And at least it'll be real functional. And then the little tank, we're still working on that. All right, we got that tank sanded down and got those Bondo spots sanded a little bit. Went ahead and shot it with some primer. First little coat there. And you can see the stuff you didn't see before without the primer. It's got some rough spots there where the Bondo is. Got a little bit more here. So we'll sand all that down. We'll probably do another little coat real fast before I start sanding on it. And yeah, there's some spots we got to clean up, but it'll come out nice. So we're still working on this little bitty tank here. I took some 1000 grit, some water, wet sanded it down on all the little spots where you could tell there was, you know, there's just little spots. Let's see if I can find one. Yeah, like right there. See, there's that little spot right there, and it's a low spot. So just kind of sand down around it. I'll have to put some more primer on it and sand it again. Some of them are coming out real nice. And it just takes a lot of work, you know. It's a lot of sanding. So you can still see some of these little spots. Some of them are getting better. Some of them need a little more time, a little more sanding, a little more primer. But after another coat, probably another sand, it'll probably be about ready for a top coat. We're not trying to get it absolutely 100% perfect. It's not that big a deal. This thing had, you know, major dents, 2 on each side. It was dented up pretty good. So whatever we end up with is going to look a whole lot better than it did before. I know that.